Our next speaker is from the Save Indian Family Foundation and has also been involved with A Voice for Men for many years. This man has been doing amazing stuff in India and elsewhere for men and families. I'd like to introduce Anil Kumar.
Good morning. So it was a wonderful talk by Mark Latham, and not many politicians stand with us. I have met a lot of members of parliament and other prominent politicians in private at their residence. They agree with us, they talk all the stuff, they share the stories of discrimination of men, but they often tell me that we cannot talk openly with you about men's rights and men's issues. We won't share platform with you because politically it can be disastrous for us. So it takes a lot of courage for any politician to share platform with us and talk about men's rights and men's issues. So we must stand with politicians like Mark and Philip Davis, because they are those rare politicians who are taking those first steps, and that will encourage the other politicians to help us or stand with us. And yesterday I watched the documentary Martyrs of Marriage for the second time. First time I watched it in Bangalore in the month of November, and I was not that moved. I knew all the stories, I knew the content more or less. I always deal with the people every weekend. But when I watched the second time yesterday, I kind of, it was very moving. And so my talk is about how do we deal with a person facing tough situations in life, like the man facing domestic violence and the false allegations and multiple cases. How do we coach the person at any stage so that he won't get into depression, he won't commit suicide? So this talk is about that. So back in 2003 and 2007, we started helplines for men, these men who face false allegations and domestic violence. So we were always available 24/7, and we have the weekend meetings to help these guys, coach them and guide them. So some of the helplines specialize in life coaching, others do a bit of it, but most of them also give legal advice. So when we are coaching somebody or counseling somebody, coaching is very different from counseling. So here is the gap. Most of the psychological counselors, men or women, go to psychological counselors for their marital problems. Then the counselor has no clue how the legal system works. They don't know. And the lawyers, when you go to lawyers don't give a damn about the psychological aspects of it. So they are like two different places, and there is no integrated approach. So the psychologist has absolutely no clue how a false allegation works, how police works, how they come to your house or workplace. They arrest you. They have no clue. They will be suggesting, why don't you meet your wife at her workplace or try to work this out or whatever, all the wrong advice. And somehow we have found counseling men who have come to us, they have gone to counselors, therapists, and somehow they have not really got any benefits. Maybe some of them even got some harm out of the process. So we developed this over a period of time, and I myself got trained as a coach. And so the main challenge is like, what does a man experience when he's going through domestic violence? Say for 6 months, 3 months, 1 year or 2 years or 10 years, what does he experience? And how does he feel when his wife says, I'll go to police and I will get your parents into prison and I will get you arrested, you will lose your job, I will call your boss. How does he feel? What kind of experience he has? So when men first call our helplines, and my phone is still a helpline, even though we have created all that and I'm at a different level. So first we hear all the emotions of the man, like he's very sad or upset and scared, and he has a choked voice, he has racing thoughts, he's talking very fast, he has all these kind of anger, he may even cry. So he has all these kind of experiences he will have. And then we tell him that, okay, nothing is going to happen on phone over 5 or 10 minutes, we should meet in the weekend meetings. So that itself is a barrier many men have to cross. Because when a man feels vulnerable, he tries to isolate himself from everybody because there is so much of invalidation and shaming of the vulnerabilities that he don't want to meet anybody. Okay, so that confidence we give them on phone so that he comes to meet us in person. And there also he's very careful, he's not opened up. So that is how it starts. Yet, in the first meeting itself, he has all these emotions coming out of him. And he is scared, he is full of anxiety. And so that is his situation. He's totally helpless. He doesn't know what to do. Almost 30 to 40% people, if we probe them, they say, okay, I thought about committing suicide because my parents are suffering, I cannot take this anymore. Because their mind is full of those imaginations that they are going to a prison or a jail and they won't be able to see their children, or they are not seeing their children for a year or two. That is their experience. Now here is the problem. If a man is going through all these emotions deep inside, he's feeling like a victim, he is not in a position to fight the court cases. He won't be able to, because the court cases are so tough, and he won't be able to deal with the police and the lawyers. Because in a court situation, it is all about negotiation. It is very tough. And in our country, the people can insult you and it can be very hostile. And he's already getting weaker, and this is like eating all his vital energy away. So he's not in this position, his situation is going to get worse and worse. The moment the lawyer senses that he has all these emotions, he knows how to manipulate him, how to give him wrong advice, and he takes a lot of money. He says, I'm going to bribe some policeman, so you give me $2,000 or $3,000, and he's going to do all kinds of things, and then over a period of time, his situation goes bad to worse, and he may even lose his job because he has these emotions. And he is in a bike or he is in a car somewhere, he can meet with an accident, he can have physical ailments, and if he's not getting real help, then almost 50% of the guys lose their career or lose their job. They are fired from their job because they are not able to attend work properly. And many men also think that I should better quit because I am facing this, and also I have multiple court cases. So I should quit my career, my job temporarily for a year so that I can focus on all these things. But then he has no source of income. He has to pay to the lawyers, and he has to pay the alimony and the maintenance to wife. So it all creates a huge vicious circles. So he can go down month after month, and at a particular stage he's at a situation we cannot recover. He may commit suicide, or he may have serious mental ailments. So what do we do? Now, the whole challenge is that it is not easy to make a person to agree for coaching. Generally, people will resist coaching. We all have our own ideas, our thoughts, we are suffering, but we won't give up our own points of view, our own thoughts, our own positions in life or views, ideas, everything. So a man will say, okay, give me some solutions. You quickly get me out of this problem. Somehow I should get divorced, I should get remarried. You fix my environment, fix the court system, you come with me to the police station, talk to the policeman or police officials and deal with that situation, talk to my lawyer. Why don't you even talk to my wife? Okay, that's where the situation is, and they are not ready to get coached. And if he's not ready to get coached, so okay, it's his choice, so we respect the choice. So that's where this doesn't go anywhere further. So how do we come to that stage where he's ready to be coached? So the first step, of course, we listen to him. We have seen a lot of such cases, hundreds and thousands. I myself have seen more than 2,000-3,000 cases. So whenever he's expressing something, he thinks that his case is very unique, his situation is very unique. But my expressions show that, like, okay, I know, I get it, and this must have happened next. This is a whole pattern. It's a whole pattern. So he gets that listening that I'm in his world. I'm exactly in his world, I'm with him, which he may not have experienced before. So that's the listening part. But the next part is most important, where I ask the man, like, what do you want? What do you want? What are you missing? What do you want right now? So as a man, he won't connect to the emotions that much. Men are desensitized from connecting, so men are not in the domain of experience. Women are better that way. So man will say, okay, I want to get divorced, I want to do this, I want to teach her a lesson. He's always in the domain of action. I want to do this, and I want to file for divorce, and I will do this, and you help me, you give me a lawyer, all that kind of stuff. Okay, fine. Imagine we are going to help you, and we are solving your problems. What do you experience in life? What do you feel in the end of the day? He's a bit stuck, like he's not able to think. Then over a period, after some time, after a while, he says, okay, well, what I want is peace of mind. Sooner or later, he comes to a stage that I'm missing the peace of mind, and I don't have any peace of mind since last many months or many years. Fine. Then the next thing, okay, of course, you want peace of mind. So what next? What more do you want? He says that I'm trapped, I'm stuck, I want freedom. So he wants peace of mind, he wants freedom, and of course, he has no happiness. So these are the 2-3 things that he wants. And the most important thing a man wants is, of course, the peace of mind. So we tell them that, okay, here is the deal. We do not know about the system, about the police and the lawyers and the court system, which are very slow. And we cannot promise you what's going to happen there. But here is the deal. If you listen to us and you get coached by us, in 3 months' time, you will get significant amount of peace of mind. May not be 100%, but 90%. It's a guarantee. You don't get peace of mind, then you can catch our collar. Okay, that's what we can say. Like, okay, here is the deal. Are you ready for that? That you want peace of mind? We are going to give it to you. We are selling you peace of mind. Are you ready to take it? I don't know whether you will get divorced, you will get remarried, whether you will teach your wife a lesson, whether you will put her in prison. I don't know. So here is where most men say, okay, I am already going through all this. If he's promising me some peace of mind, so maybe I should try. And of course, he has a choice. He can say that I will not take your coaching, or he can make mistakes. It's okay. So that's how we get to a stage where he's willing to be coached. So he will get the coaching. So he's not going to bring in his own ideas. He is like in a field of basketball, he's not supposed to play baseball. So we listen to him, and we get him on board that he's ready for coaching, and of course we are with a lot of compassion with him. So we tell them that, listen, I'm like your family, I'm like your brother. Okay, we call ourselves the Save Indian Family Foundation. The word family doesn't mean wife and husband, we are the family. You call me at any time, and we are available to you. You can send me a message at any time. We are there with you. So from there, we work with him. And so the next steps are, before we get into coaching, we have to complete certain other steps. The man may be already in a state of emergency. His wife is already very violent, or already she has gone to the police, and the police people are calling him for some kind of a negotiation, or they are threatening him, which is illegal. So a lot of illegal things can happen. So he is already in a state of emergency. So we need to deal with some of his emergencies. Luckily, men also look for solutions. Men are good in taking instructions. So we we give the men certain instructions. If he is in the house, he is facing a domestic violence situation, we coach him to tolerate it a few more months if he can really manage it. He should still be staying there. But if he cannot really tolerate, it's too much, he can move to a hostel. And that option we give them, we coach them to do that. We also tell him that if police calls them on the phone, what should they tell to the policeman? And if they pick him up illegally, detain him illegally, what he's supposed to do? And how he's going to talk to his lawyers, and how he's going to deal with his own parents. So there are a lot of instructions that we tell him. And in our culture, the parents are like gods. We have to respect the parents and all. So parents often say, this guy is a loser, he doesn't know, I will take over. So the father or mother will try to fix the whole situation, and almost always they screw it up. They screw it up very badly. So we have to protect the man from the parents and the relatives, the uncles and the aunts and other relatives. They all try to mediate, like, I'm doing something good for the society, but they are all extremely traditional and misandrous. So whatever they do, they say, we will save the marriage or whatever way, and in the end of the day, the situation can get worse. So we tell him that you are with us, and you, for example, one of the things that commonly happens in India is the wife's family elders and the husband's family elders, they meet in a common place, try to work this out between the families. And that's the most dangerous thing that can happen to a man. Because often these people from the wife's side, they come prepared, they know laws are in their side, so they can get violent, they can get extremely abusive, and they can use that hostile situation to create some more evidence against the man. So he should never go for if the matter is in court or in police station or in this situation, he should not go for a family elders gathering, because our culture had these family groups solving the problems. Maybe 20 years back it was good, 30 years back it was good. Right now, the entire process has broken down. So people are extremely unscrupulous, so you cannot depend on that. So we have to give people all these instructions. For example, if he's in the workplace and police are illegally trying to enter inside, trying to arrest him, it's illegal. They don't file a police report or anything, just because they are being bribed. The policeman can pick him up and keep him in the police station detained. They will take away his cell phones just to create that fear. So what should he do in such a situation, and how should he communicate to us? Sometimes it can happen that the wife and her family are stalking him. So he has moved away from his house, but somehow they're trying to locate him, or they may even physically attack him. So in such situations, what should he be doing? Okay. So these instructions we need to give before we start coaching him. One of the most important things we coach in the first step is to think only 15 days at a time. This is a very traditional way of reducing stress. So otherwise, men always think about 30 years into future, up till retirement and children, and how to become a vice president of my company and all that kind of things. And they think that I am in a marital problem, I may have to give alimony. They think about everything. They go all over the place, and that increases the stress. So if today is the date of 11th June, so he should only live till 26th June. And he should not be asking us any question beyond 26th June, because this is a small time frame. So anything which is happening during this time, he's anticipating, he should deal with that. He should leave everything aside. So that itself can reduce the stress. And often men try to distract themselves by working more spending more hours at workplace. In our culture, it is okay to be at the workplace till midnight. So they should not be doing that. They should not be getting into too many hobbies to distract themselves, like a game of cricket or something. They should be with themselves. If you are distracting yourself, all these negative emotions, they don't go away. They are very much there, and they can harm you. Right. So the person is at a stage of he's a victim with all these negative states, and our aim is to move him to an empowered man who is very confident and strong. He can deal with any situation. That is the state where we have to take him, where he feels powerful. He is very peaceful in any situation. So we are not going to fix any of the circumstances. So if he is getting arrested, okay, he goes to prison. He should be laughing and going into the prison. And yeah, so if anywhere he is, he's like cool and he's like a professional. He's like completely, he has to be completely empowered, powerful. So how do we do that over a period of 3 months or 6 months' time? So that's where the coaching comes in. And so step by step, we work with him with a different structure. And so we are giving him instructions. So we all have learned, since childhood, we have learned many things. We have acquired a lot of habits, which are good for our career, thinking and analysis and thought process and all. But there is another side to it. Children by default are very natural. They don't get the kind of stress that we get. The children do not take prison so seriously. You tell a child, I will put you in a prison, the child doesn't care. If you put him in a prison, he may play and he or she may play and come back. It doesn't impact them, right? But the kind of interpretation we have made out of the word prison and police, the way we see the movies, right? So the interpretations control our lives. And we have learned this. So the guy has to go through a bit of unlearning about many aspects of life. So that can happen if he's... so, of course, we give them... Okay, yeah. So one of the first steps, of course, is that we have to work with... first, we have to tell him, we have to coach him to go beyond his points of view. He cannot hold on to his points of view. No, I am very traditional. I am a priestly caste person. I am a Muslim. I have this restriction. I should not be doing that. This is haram. This is moral. This is immoral. All these traditional mental blocks. So this is how we often behave. Like, we have a point of view. We think point of views are real, and we get stuck to it. So when we have these point of views and we are holding on to them, they don't empower us. They take away power from our life. So they disconnect us from the reality. So different persons have different point of views, and the reality we ultimately do not perceive. And the less we are connected with reality, the lesser will be the power in our lives. The more we are connected with reality, the more power we feel. So this is the first step. So we explore and probe what are the things that the man is trying to hold on to. And we make him give up some of that. Some of those conversations he has to give up. Just as an exercise. After a while, he can still hold on to his... But temporarily, can you for an hour give up the point of view? Like, you are in this hall. You have a lot of point of views about psychology and traditionalism and all this political stuff. You have a lot of points of view about feminists and all that. But for next half an hour or 1 hour, you can keep all your more or less points of views aside, and you can just listen to the whole thing, and then afterwards, you can again pick those points of view and go outside the hall. That's okay, right? We don't have to be really holding on and getting stuck to that. It's not powerful because it will kill a lot of creative options. You won't create breakthroughs. Yes, so men always want clarity. Men always want clarity. If they are going through domestic violence, they want a black and white situation. Either they're getting divorced or they're fixing the wife, or any situation. They don't want uncertainty. If it's a child custody issue and it's a very gray area, you are meeting the child sometimes you have no connection with the child. So men want clarity in life, and uncertainty is uncomfortable. Vagueness is uncomfortable. For women, I guess they can use to uncertainty and vagueness in a more comfortable way. And somehow we don't like people who are uncertain or who have a contradictory behavior. But in India, a man won't get divorced for 5 or 6 years. His life is uncertain. Get out, then the $100,000 will come at you, and you have to give your position. Okay, I will. So he has to get used to uncertainty. And in fact, being uncertain is a very good psychological technique in a negotiating situation. If you are negotiating with somebody, you don't want to give up your positions, you are giving very uncertain and vague stuff. That can be also a defense in a situation that can protect you. For example, the policeman say, why don't you divorce? Or the court mediator say, why don't you divorce your wife right now and pay some alimony? Why don't you want all these litigations? But the wife wants 5 million rupees, which is like $100,000 Australian dollars. 100,000 Australian dollars for a guy who is 30 years old, and that too in India. Oh, okay, I will consider, but you don't like my mom. My mom is a very arrogant lady. Yeah? And you can't call somebody's mom into family court, even in India, because that is not allowed. You know that. And then many times the judges and the counselors try to provoke you, which is illegal. They try to insult your parents so that you get provoked and you are angry, so that they can twist you. So a man needs to get used to all that. So he has to acclimatize himself to a court situation. So if a man is facing domestic violence and he may face false cases, first thing we do is, if he has not seen a courtroom, we take him to a courtroom, get him acclimatized. It is like getting acclimatized at a height, like Everest Base Camp or some height. So he goes to the courtroom, because what you see a courtroom in a movie and the real courtroom is very different. So it takes a while. So initially you go, you can have different situations. You won't really like the environment, so we get him used to that situation. So we have court visit sessions. This is the most important part, where the whole victimhood comes in, because men get into this conversation, why me? Why is it happening to me? I'm the nicest person in the world, and I never thought this will happen to me. And we ask, okay, when did you get married? He says, okay, I got married in 2016, February. Okay. So did you ever come across that this kind of a thing happens? No, I never knew that there are false dowry cases. I never knew that this can happen to anybody. How can it be possible? We have 2,000 newspaper articles last year and TV debates. How did you miss it? How did you miss it? Yeah? We have 10,000 to 15,000 newspaper articles, more than 500 TV debates in prime channels, and all women know about. By the way, before you drive, you know the traffic. You had a traffic exam. You know the traffic laws. Before you got married, did you ever study? Did you ever study the family laws before getting married? Okay? So somewhere you are irresponsible. You didn't really think through. Okay? And we tell him that it's not just happening to you. It is happening to 500,000 men. It has happened to cricketer Manoj Prabhakar. Manoj Prabhakar was one of the fast bowlers in 90s in Indian cricket. He used to bowl with Kapil Dev, very famous guy. It happened to Manoj Prabhakar after 17 years of marriage. So it is happening to celebrities, it is happening to singers, it is happening to sports persons, it is happening to everybody. It is happening to the relatives of politicians. And one of our union ministers of, the education ministers, he was a very prominent politician, now he has passed away. His granddaughter-in-law, grandson's wife filed a case on him, and he was a minister, he was a politician. So it is happening to everybody, it is not just happening to you. And you are lucky that you have come to us at an early stage. You still do not have the cases, and you are lucky that you do not yet have a child. That's good for you. So there are certain way you are okay. There are people who have gone through much worse situation, and many times they have a conversation that it doesn't happen to people in West. The laws in West are very good, very fair. Oh, does it happen in Australia also? In USA? No, they have all. No. Yeah? No, it doesn't happen to men in rural areas. Villages, it doesn't happen. Village men are like. So they have all this conversion. It's only me. All my friends are enjoying their life. They have all nice, great life. Only I am suffering. I know how many of my married friends are happy. Some of them wish they had all these cases than the current, 30-40% of Indian men are very unhappy in marriages right now. So it's all the imagination that we have to make him overcome this part. And in our men's community center, we have a group of people sharing their stories. So often the guy finds that somebody has gone through much worse. And in spite of that, he has recovered and he is very healthy and happy and all that. Well, nice guys suffer more. So a lot of guys are brought up with all nice attitude. You should not never lie, and you should not be doing bad things in life. You should not have bad thoughts, and you should have a lot of humility. The good guys, and some 15, 20, 25% people have that nice behavior in them. And they tend to feel more pain. You are a very nice guy, and the counselor in a courtroom or a policeman is insulting your mother or father, you will feel a lot bad. But if a guy is thinking that he's a jerk, he thinks that he's a jerk, he will feel, okay, I'm a jerk. You can say whatever you want. You can abuse me. Yeah? He's okay. Right? A nice guy can feel more pain because he has all the conversation that I'm a nice guy and only nice things should be happening to me. Nothing bad should happen. Right? That's what is the whole conversation around the religion and all that, that if you are a good person, good things happen to you. So bad things should not happen to you. But that's not how life is. So we teach the guys, you can sense a guy who is that nice guy. He may be very religious, or he may be very traditional, or he can be a very guy with very humble nature. He can't really get angry. He cannot negotiate. He can't, fight with somebody, or is like that. So we work with him to bring a certain amount of not being nice. So we have certain meditations designed for them. It's like a small kind of a meditation, I'll tell you, in backstage. So it's a meditation you do every day morning for 5 minutes. So you enable not being nice part of you slightly. You will not change. See, nobody changes after the age of 15 or 18. We don't change. We are the same people, but we just have enabled an additional. It was always there within us, so we discover another side of ourselves. I was a nice guy. I was a very nice guy. For a long time. And I used to get hurt. I will go all around, and I was always afraid of negativity. Somebody may be insulting me. I will sulk for 4 or 5 days. Right now, people can abuse me, anything in internet, in face. I say, thank you very much for abusing me. Yeah. They can abuse my mother. They can abuse my father, they can abuse my sisters, they can do whatever they want to say in the worst possible language. I said, thank you. Because I'm a jerk, I'm not a nice guy. So this is one part. So there are a lot of steps in coaching, so we have to probe the guy where he is. And now, this is one big part. Lot of guys, almost all guys, like, I want to teach my wife a lesson, that father-in-law, they will be swearing about them, and they will be angry and upset and all that. So we have to coach them to forgive. Forgiveness doesn't mean they compromise. Forgiveness doesn't mean you are giving up your positions. You are still negotiating. You may still put your wife in prison. You can forgive her and she can go to prison. That's okay. But you should have gratitude towards your wife or partner or whosoever it is. She put you in prison. You should be happy. Wow. I should be thankful to them and have a lot of gratitude, because there is no point in keeping that poison inside, and it is like eating you from inside and harming you from inside, and expect the other person to get harmed. And lot of guys who keep this kind of a thing, they file multiple counter cases against the opponents, and often they worsen the situation. And so we coach the man to not focus on the concerns, because we are there to take care of his concerns, more or less. We have legal experts with us, so we can focus on all these things. And so often a guy can influence a lot. A guy can influence the judges in a different way. There are many different techniques. He can meet the judges unofficially. He can be an activist. As an activist, you have access to politicians. You have access to the higher judiciary. You have access to retired judges. There are a lot of ways you can be very powerful. So if you are talking with a judge, he can sense that he's talking to a different person. So his body language, everything changes. So acceptance. So finally, the guy gets acceptance. He becomes peaceful. Patience is a big part of it, and having very low expectations. So all these problems can be dealt with if you expect that you don't have a lot of expectations. I should get married. I have children, grandchildren. Live in the present moment, and when you are living in present moment, there are no real sufferings. So it is about developing yourself. It's just like physically you are developing yourself, you can psychologically develop yourself, and this coaching over a period of time, 6 months or a year or 2 years, has made a big impact on men. So later on, this coaching can help the guys in their own careers, in the activism, and all that. So many guys who have been coached by us, they have excellent careers, they are doing good, they have got promotions, they have gone up, and it has really, they have used this bad situation in life to grow as bigger human beings. And for the men's movement, we use the same techniques to coach them to how to become an activist without anger, without getting upset with feminists and everybody. So the same techniques will work at a higher scale for the leadership development. So some of my guys whom coached, Amit Deshpande of Mumbai, I have coached him, and he's doing much more than me right now. And here are the guys who are coached, and you just see can you imagine they may have multiple cases, they have faced domestic violence, they still may be running around courts, and they are in this empowered state. Yeah, so that's where I complete now. We have time for questions? Do we have?
No, I'm afraid not, Anil. I'm afraid not.
Okay.
Sorry, this is 45 minutes. Thank you very much, Anil.
Thank you.